Growing under the radar, Indian military and Quad's alliance has rattled China. Indian Coast Guard ships would soon be holding joint drills at the port of Yokohama in Tokyo Bay alongside their Japanese and American counterparts. Reports also suggest the drills will be held off Kagoshima Bay. Now, this is highly strategic as Chinese vessels and warships repeatedly infiltrate the Osumi Strait of Kagoshima Prefecture in Japan's exclusive economic zone. CCP sees a US hand behind the boost to the Quad, and a report in China military stated, quote, "The US Coast Guard is bringing on its three partners for three reasons: to make what it's doing strategically and diplomatically more justifiable through the increase in numbers, to shore up its deficiencies, and to get the Quad mechanism into action," unquote. The growing Quad naval alliance has gone underreported in media. It has certainly caught the attention of CCP leadership, who are annoyed and angry. China labels Quad of India, USA, Japan and Australia as the Asian NATO, though at least India has officially shied away from that term. Ahead of the Modi-Xi meeting in Kazan, which officially signaled the end of the four-year border standoff between the Indian Army and Indian Air Force with over 150,000 Chinese PLA troops along the India-Tibet border, S. Jaishankar appeared to write off an official military alliance like the Asian NATO taking shape. Jaishankar stated, quote, "We don't have that kind of strategic architecture in mind. We have a different history and different ways of approaching," unquote. Jaishankar was hinting to India's famous non-alignment policy. However, while an Asian NATO has been ruled out, the continued focus on interoperability between their forces also cannot be denied. The Coast Guard drills between India, US and Japan will take place in the backdrop of China intensifying its hegemonic moves in the form of its illegal nine-dash line, militarization of artificial islands, and unchecked illegal fishing by huge Chinese fleets. Taking place for the first time in 6 years, the drills will involve the Japanese Coast Guard's National Strike Team and Indian Coast Guard ships. They will be later joined by US Coast Guard's National Strike Force, a specialist organization that trains others for disaster response. The exercise is expected to focus on maritime environmental protection, including safeguards against hazardous materials. As per information provided by the Japanese Coast Guard, which spoke with Stars and Stripes, a US military news organization. The joint mission will see the Coast Guards carry each other's personnel to boost interoperability. The exercises have been timed to coincide with a visit by Indian Coast Guard Director General Paramesh Sivamani in Yokohama for the annual Indo-Japanese Coast Guard Summit to be held on the 10th of January. Now, this is not the first time China has lashed out at the Quad. CCP's Foreign Ministry spokesperson Lin Jian spoke after the September summit, saying, quote, "The US kept saying the summit did not target China, but China was the first topic of the summit," unquote. In October, Indian Navy hosted mega 11-day Quad war games in the Bay of Bengal, which reportedly focused on anti-submarine operations. On display were guided missile destroyers, multi-purpose frigates, submarines, fixed-wing maritime reconnaissance aircraft, fighter jets, and submarine hunter helicopters. Reports suggest China is on course to building the largest nuclear as well as AIP-powered submarine fleet in history. So the threat is real and present. The Coast Guard drills in Japan, on the other hand, focus on the other aspect of Chinese bullying, which is illegal fishing. Hundreds of Chinese fishing vessels and ships deployed by the Chinese PLAN are being spotted near the Kagoshima Bay region of Japan annually. The joint patrols are a way to warn such maritime militia, backed by Beijing, that such bullying is unacceptable and that it would be met with coordinated action by this coalition of like-minded democracies. Meanwhile, illegal incursions by Chinese Coast Guard are increasing, with most of them occurring in the Filipino EEZ region, comprising of the Scarborough Shoal and the Sabina Shoal in the Spratly Islands, an area that is within the Philippines' 200 nautical mile EEZ, but which China rejects and claims its own sovereignty. India is increasing its strategic footprint in the ASEAN region and has provided the Philippines with the BrahMos supersonic missiles in case near-Delhi confrontations with the Chinese escalate into a major conflict. The two nations also recently held their first maritime talks to further enhance this maritime domain cooperation. Meanwhile, aircraft carriers are going to be central to Indian Navy's plans, and the Navy chief has reiterated that having three carriers is absolutely necessary to allow simultaneous operations in the Arabian Sea and the Bay of Bengal. Reports suggest India will soon kickstart the process of planning and building its second indigenous aircraft carrier, christened INS Vishal, which will be the nation's third, as stated by Defence Minister Rajnath Singh in May. INS Vishal will be a 45,000-ton sister warship of INS Vikrant, commissioned in 2022. Now, if you found this news report informative, then leave a comment, hit the like button, and subscribe to Inconnect News.